So a question I keep getting asked is, why did I ship this rusty old car all the way from the United Kingdom? This car was originally bought in 2021 for a trip, a cheap car challenge, England to Armenia. At the end of the trip, scrap it. Fate had other plans. I ended up breaking my leg in Bulgaria. That was kind of cool. Got to go in this cool 1990s Toyota Land Cruiser. But yeah, it was purchased for £580 because cars generally this age in this condition are just worthless in the United Kingdom. Facebook Marketplace is just full of shit like this. It's great. But fast forward now 3 years and I'm in Canada. Interesting backdrop for a video. I do appreciate that. The only quiet place I could find. But I'm 7,500 kilometers from England. Yet I still have this rusty old car. So why do I still have it? Why did I ship this car all the way? Really, it's just down to economics. Because I'm asked, why did you ship the car? Why wouldn't you just rent? Or why wouldn't you just buy one over in the States, Canada, and North America? And working out for the trip, to rent a car for this long would have been, I am not exaggerating here, £10,000. 10 grand. £10,000 to rent a car for 3 months. Where I'm here for 5 months, but for 3 months, £10,000. You know, it's just ridiculous. I'm not going to do that in my right mind. That'd just be insane to rent a car for 10 grand. Anyway, so then the next option is buying. Some great cars in the US, some used cars, some real heaps of shit. Generally, I'd have probably wanted to spend about 2,000 US on a used car, and I don't know, you're old car guys. I think most of you appreciate this. You don't spend $2,000 on a car and it's just fine. You need to fix it, you need to work on it, you need to get it standard. If you have a workshop and you have your tools, that's fine. I don't really have a place to fix a shitty used car up and get it going. I'd have to buy all the tools, I'd have to have a workshop, or I'd have to pay somebody. And paying someone, you know, it'd be crazy. I can't really justify it. So anyway, I digress. Doing all the numbers, it made sense to ship it. It's not cheap, but it's not massive money. To get it from Southampton, England to New York City was £1,350. 14 days at sea, went via Canada. Then customs clearance was £350. And then insurance was, what, £250 for 90 days? So what's that? Just under £2,000. £2,000, 4 months later. And what, the only problem is the strut mounts at the back. As you saw in the last video, I fixed them, and yes, I know I put it back together wrong. There's a load of other parts missing anyway, I will rectify that. But the next question, why the BMW E46? Let's go for a drive. So I didn't go out specifically looking to buy an E46. I wanted a cheap car. I wanted a cheap car to get me to Armenia and scrap it. The E46 was always sort of on my radar. You know, I like BMWs. They're a pretty solid brand. They're good cars. They're comfortable. They're pretty good at most things, really. Like, you don't need any other car. A BMW 3 Series estate. Brilliant. We'll see you through your whole life. But the E46 really is the last proper BMW. You know, the E90 is great. It's galvanized. They don't rust like these, because these rust like crazy. I don't think there's really any rust-free examples anymore in England. I went out looking for a practical car. I wanted a diesel, I wanted an estate, and most importantly, I wanted something that was really common. As I explained, I was tending to get Armenia all the way through the Balkans, Albania, Croatia, Bosnia, all through the Balkans. The E46 is a really common car, so I thought, oh, I can get parts if it breaks. Well, it never did break. It never broke anywhere on the trip. This car came up. It was the right car at the right time. I was on Facebook Marketplace and I found a BMW 330 diesel for sale for £700. So I went to go and look at it and found this BMW 330D and bought it off this man. And I realised in the morning once I got home that I'd been lied to, and I in fact bought a 320D, which is fine because, as my hypermiling video proved, these things are great on fuel. And going overland all through these countries and doing big distances, you want a fuel efficient vehicle. Shipping the car, one of the cool things is you meet people. You know, I'm in a right-hand drive English car with English number plates on. So petrol stations, generally, someone will always come up to me and ask, what's this about? Or you pull up next to someone in a car park and people will ask. People are interested. It's quite a nice talking point. They're really good cars, the E46s. They drive well, they're fun to drive. Because it's not really worth any money, I'm not really too bothered what happens with it. You can have fun with them. So this 3 Series was built towards the end of the E46 production era. It's a 2004, as I'm sure you've seen by the number plate. In Britain you can tell the age of a car by the number plate. 2004, I suppose, really was quite an interesting year for the world. Anyhow, I've been in Canada for 3 weeks now working. I've been building shipping container houses, which have been quite interesting. I did think about sharing it on YouTube, but I do appreciate this is a motoring YouTube channel, making shipping container homes. Our next stop really is Alaska. The last 4 months have been kind of crazy. I've gone from New York down to Florida, across to California, and now to Canada. So of course it makes sense. I have to finish this trip and make it to Alaska. But before that, I do have to make one detour before hitting the road to Alaska. Unfortunately, I can't drive there, so I've got to park this thing up. I've got a plane to catch. So, back to reality for a while. That was a very long flight. You know, when in Ireland, it's rude not to have a cheeky little Guinness, eh? Not a bad place to have a stopover. But my car is now, 7,500 kilometers away. So I need a car. I need something to get around in. I can't go back into the USA until the US government has seen me leave North America, just how silly visa requirements use. So I'm back in England with my weird collection of shit old BMs. I'm going to be here roughly for 6-7 weeks. So 6-7 weeks, I'm heading to Alaska. But do not worry, this is a BMW YouTube channel and there really is some good content here. Do not worry, there's still going to be videos every 5 days. As you can see, the collection is in all different sort of states. Some stuff runs, some stuff doesn't run. I'm really not sure why BMW is my obsession, but it keeps me occupied there, sort of a fun hobby. One that we're going to pick as a daily driver is going to be the old E30. This one's a 1989 and it's the 2-litre petrol 6-cylinder. And I'm most confident this one will pass the MOT because it wasn't too long since it was MOT'd. So for this one, we need to put the interior back in because the interior is stripped out, it's had a bit of welding, and fix an exhaust. But that's for another video. That's for next week's videos. So stay tuned. I think this could be quite interesting. Maybe we'll get this thing around the Nürburgring in Germany. Who knows? We'll see. So thank you for watching and let's get this thing through an MOT. Let's get this thing back on the road.